I always tell people whenever they ask me what the unseen is about, I say it's about two guys in prison who disagree about whether there's someone in the cell between them. Like, that's what it's about, you know? Now, out of that conversation come a lot of issues about how much we can know about anything. And I think in the long run what the unseen is really trying to say is that the genuine unknowns in life are not really the invisible, potentially divine beings that float around, because those are all constructs. The actual unknown is the real person sitting right next to us. Other people are actually the unseen. I was fortunate enough to have my play Lady produced here last year, directed by Scott Smith, and it was such a great production that I was very eager to get involved with the company, hopefully on a more regular basis. And so some discussions started not long after about possibly doing the unseen, and then I raised the notion of directing it myself, and the company was willing to let me do that, so here we are. In this play you have these two characters, each of whom come at the mystery of the third party from very different standpoints. One of them comes to it from reason and with a lot of the language of science and the language of certainty. The other character approaches it a lot more in terms of the language of faith and belief and the affective components of the human experience, about hope, you know. In the end, both of these approaches are seen to be essentially poetic, you know. They're both equally beautiful and equally useless in the long run. And actually, only the silence of a real human presence communicates. Everything else is an art project. A lot of this play has to do with torture. It has to do with people who never expected to be pushed to the brink of themselves. And lo and behold, when you push ordinary people that far, they get kind of special. You know, they get kind of fantastical. They have to. And so I think that that's an appealing component of the play to me, is that you have characters that are at such extremes, you know, who are in such bad circumstances, and that they only have language really to work with, you know. I mean, that's certainly a great setup for a dramatic situation in the theater. I mean, and definitely, you know, this play is a response in some ways to Beckett. You know, I've never really believed in Waiting for Godot. I think it's a great play, but it's a great play with a real point of view, you know, and that point of view is that he never shows up, you know. That's not my experience. My experience is things are showing up all the time. They won't stop showing up. We just don't know what they are. In my world, Godot is always there. He's always sitting right there. He won't shut up. You just can't figure out who he is exactly, you know?